I'd like to show you a couple things today, some broadcast intelligence tools. So one of the things that we help broadcasters with is better understanding what's inside of their content. So we work with radio and TV stations and networks to live ingest their content and then identify everything that's being said and seen in the broadcast in real time. And that's used for a number of different use cases. One of the big use cases is for sponsorships. When you're selling the naming rights to something, sponsorship, how often did we mention that sponsor in conjunction with that? How often was their logo on the screen? Did we have text in the lower third? And this will automatically be able to monitor that and recap it, which is really, really nice. Another great use case is just for finding content in your archive. So if you have B-roll or if you have content that you want to license and stuff like that, being able to go back and find a clip based on the faces, the objects, what's being discussed, and so forth. So I'll show you one example here. This is almost like an AI assistant, and so we would take in the live broadcast, whether it's radio or TV, and within a few minutes we have run a bunch of AI models on that, so everything has been identified in that broadcast. And I could come in here and just use this like Google almost for your content, or an AI assistant. So I can say, hey, find me the mentions of Ethos Life. So I go ahead and prompt this, and the AI is going to go and search through everything that it's pulled in, right? I could further filter this, so maybe I just want this to be on a particular program or date or time and so forth. And I get all of the results, almost like a search results, but these are all air checks, right? So if I click on one of these, I can actually open this up. I get the full transcript. I've got a player here. I'm going to go ahead and hit play.
Like a $500,000 policy for a 40.
So again, I didn't have the volume up, but it actually started right when we were looking for Ethos Life. So I'm able to find those things. And as I find them, I can quickly share this clip. I can download it. I can add it to a collection. So if the advertiser wants a recap after the campaign, you could say, well, here's some samples of what we did, or here's all the mentions you got on the air, and so forth. And we have the ability to do this again with video. So let me go ahead and just use an example here real quick. So I'm going to search by face, and let's say I need Jim Cramer on the screen, and I'm going to go ahead and add him. And I also need him talking about Microsoft. So maybe this happened this morning, and I'll put a date filter on there as well. And as it loads up right here, you could see right now he's talking about Microsoft, right? If I click on his face, I could see here's all the detected faces. Here's all the times that Jim Cramer was on the screen, right? So I can go ahead and hit play here, hopefully, and it'll play it. And what's really neat about this is I can go ahead and actually set up a watch list. And so a watch list is a way for this system to be listening to or watching everything that's happening and automatically recap it. So if you've sold a sponsorship, you've got a sponsored contest, you've got a news topic that you're tracking, it's going to automatically pull down all of these integrations. It can even alert you when it actually sees something, and then it's going to put analytics against it. So, one of the things I think in the broadcast industry is we often underreport all that we're doing for advertisers. And it's very easy to measure your spots, and stuff like that. But outside of commercials and spots, all of the earned media or added value can be counted as well. And then you can actually share that back with the advertiser to say, hey, you paid for X, but we delivered Y, right? We also gave you all this additional exposure by day of week, by date, by program, and so forth. Here's all the air checks as well. And so this is a powerful tool to kind of automate all of that recapping. What's unique about this system is outside of the application, it's actually built on some pretty cool technology. We have an operating system for AI that uses like 350 different AI models. So it's not like we just use Amazon's models or Microsoft's models, and we can onboard additional models. So in North America, we use a celebrity recognition model that's already pre-trained, but then we have a trainable model too. So if somebody's not a celebrity, you literally just upload a couple photos, or you draw a box around their face and the model learns that, okay, this is this individual. If there are models in Brazil, South America that have already been trained on celebrities, we can onboard those too. And they're going to recognize, celebrities from Latin America, for instance, versus having to create every single face in there. But if you have a local news anchor who's not in the model, then we just train the model, or you can upload a picture and it'll recognize them moving forward. So the cost is, it varies by the amount of content that we're recording and indexing. and the number of AI models. So, it could be for a radio station, not that expensive because it's just audio. It might be a few $100s US a month. Video is a little bit more expensive because we're running face and optical character recognition and logo detection, and so that could be a little bit more as well. But then for local TV, you probably only have so much local news. It's not like it's 24/7, right? So it's not that much more expensive. Anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a month usually. The first application I showed you is primarily to measure the delivery. This is to measure response. And so radio and TV has always been really good at driving web traffic for an advertiser. Visit this website and so forth. And what we can do with this is actually now look at when commercials play, look at when there's live mentions and sponsorships on the air, take the advertiser's Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics and correlate the two to show that, hey, when you're spending money in radio and TV, your advertising is working. We're driving a lot of new web traffic to your website. And so I can actually show, like, when those two things are connected, that for this campaign, we increased their website traffic by 57%, right? We generated 2,400 new ad visits. We sent 3,300 new users to the website that have never been there directly because of this advertising that they've spent on radio and TV. And what this allows the salesperson to do is to come back and actually say, look, your advertising is working. Let's get a renewal. Let's get an expansion. Even be able to optimize the campaign. So for instance, if I could tell that they're running 2 different pieces of creative and we also have live reads, what is working best so that we can use that more often to get a better result for the advertiser. So this is attribution, web lift attribution, and it's been really popular. We do this in about 8 countries right now, and the salespeople love it because the number one question they get is, how do I know my advertising is working? Right? When they buy digital, easy to measure. When you buy traditional broadcasting, a little bit harder. And now they have the tools to go back and actually show that the advertising is working for the advertiser. So what happens is the advertiser gets invited to share their analytics. And so our system generates an email. The email goes to the advertiser and it says, the radio or TV station would like read-only access. They put in their Google Analytics username and password, hit grant access, and on through the API, it starts to send the traffic to this platform here.